Well, a season's work comes down to the next 80 minutes for these two clubs, and of course team news is absolutely vital. That's top of the bill. Let's go down to join Rod Studd, who's on the sideline, who's got all the headlines for us. And Rod, you've also got a warm weather warning for us too.
Yeah, it's like the Costa del Warrington on a Friday night down here on the sideline, and it really is really warm. The temperature's still in the mid-20s Celsius. It's the hottest I can ever remember a September playoff game being played in, and you know, it was around 30 degrees mid-afternoon in Warrington. It's unprecedented at this time of year, so I think that might be a factor here tonight. As far as the team news goes, well, a boost for Tony Smith in Warrington, because Benny Westwood, one of their star forwards, is back tonight. He's missed 6 weeks with a knee problem, but he can return tonight. He's on the bench, and that means that Ben Harrison is the man to make way. Otherwise, Tony Smith goes with the same team that swept Huddersfield aside on a tide of tries a fortnight ago. The same run on 13, just Westwood coming in on the bench for Harrison. Leeds, well, one returner for Brian McDermott too. Carl Ablett is back after suffering a head injury, so that means a little bit of shuffling for the Leeds coach. It means Ablett comes in at the centre, and a change. Brett Delaney goes down into the second row. Wella Haraki to the bench, and the unlucky man there is Ali Lawatiti, who had been hoping to make his 200th appearance for Leeds, and who knows, he may have made his 199th and last, because if Leeds lose tonight, he's off to Wakefield Trinity Wildcats for next season. So let's have a look at the two lineups for this crucial eliminator on the road to Old Trafford, starting with the home side and title favourites, the Warrington Wolves, with Brett Hodgson at fullback. Then their three-quarter line, Joel Monahan, Matt King, Ryan Atkins and Chris Riley. The halfbacks, Lee Breers and Richie Myler. The Wolves pack, Adrian Morley is their captain. Michael Monahan at hooker and Gareth Carvell completes the front row. Louis Anderson, Simon Grix and Chris Bridge completing their run on 13. And on the interchange bench for Warrington, Ben Westwood, John Clark, Mike Cooper and David Solomona. Their coach is Tony Smith, bidding to be the first man to lead two different clubs to a grand final in the Super League. For Leeds, and 12 of these blokes have played in a grand final and won one for Leeds, and maybe an edge in that terms of experience. Brent Webb is at fullback, Ben Jones-Bishop, Zach Hardaker off the back of his hat-trick against Huddersfield, Carl Ablett and Ryan Hall. The halves, Kevin Sinfield the captain and Danny Maguire. Then the forwards for the Rhinos, Kylie Luluai, Danny Badiris, Jamie Peacock, Jamie Jones-Buchanan, Brett Delaney and Chris Clarkson. And on the bench for Leeds, Rob Burrow, Ryan Bailey, Ian Kirk and Wella Haraki. And the Rhinos coach is Brian McDermott.
It's fun. You know, everyone's talked about the Warrington attack this season. You know, they've scored almost 200 tries in Super League. They've entertained us and mesmerised their fans with the way that they've thrown the ball around this field and offloaded at will at times. And they will do that tonight. But what's most impressed me most recently is their defensive improvement. The last time, though, they played on this ground in a similar situation, a sudden death match, was against Wigan in the Cup, and they lost. They conceded 44 points. But that seems to me to be the catalyst in the defensive improvements. And that culminated last match that they played against by nilling their opponents. You know, I just want to take a look at the points conceded by the four remaining sides in the playoffs this weekend in the last four matches. When we take a look at this, you'll just get to see how in this month of September, Warrington seem to have set themselves apart from everybody else here. I mean, the fact that they've nilled their opponents was one thing, but also they just really have been, you have to go back 7 games the last time that they conceded 2 tries or more in a match. You know what I mean? That's pretty impressive record at such a stage. The other thing then that I think is very interesting, they do say that defence wins big games. The other thing that wins big games is starting matches well, and no team does that better than the Warrington side. If we look at what they've done in the first 10 minutes of matches in Super League this season, you'll see that they've scored 28 tries and conceded just 3. Now, that just sets them clearly apart. You see the difference there from the Super League average. Now, Leeds have started games defensively quite well. You can see they're ranked second behind the Warrington side, but they've not been able to get across the try line. And I think it's important in this first 10-minute period that they get off to a start. So many teams this year have been blown away by Warrington in that first 10 minutes, conceding a couple of tries, and then finding it a very difficult uphill battle when this Warrington crowd gets behind their team. Now, the other thing, though, that their Warrington side have is an attacking philosophy that's probably different to everybody else in this league. In the game of rugby league, you get 6 tackles or 6 plays in which to attack when you have the ball. And conservatively, most teams start holding onto the ball, and maybe by the time they get to tackle 4, 5 and 6, looking a little bit more adventurous, wanting to score a try. Warrington don't do that. They think about attacking as soon as they get the ball, and it's visibly different the number of tries that they've scored on receiving the possession from their opponents, or the first or second tackle, sets them apart. They think attack as soon as they get the ball. They're not just thinking, let's settle it down and control it, wait for our opponents to get ready. And that's the difficult thing that the Leeds side faced tonight, being able to cope with this Warrington attack, but also finding a way somehow of breaking down their defence.
And it's the league leaders and the Warrington Wolves against the Leeds Rhinos. Warrington aiming for their first ever Grand Final. Leeds 5th place finish, their lowest for 10 years, but now 80 minutes away from a 4th Grand Final in 5 seasons. Place is packed, it's a hot and sultry night at the back end of September, beginning of October. And here's the team news. Warrington have had a fortnight to prepare for this. The starting 13, the same as the one that defeated Huddersfield 47-0 here a fortnight ago. Riley continuing on the wing, and this is the last home appearance from Matt King, who's on his way home at the end of the season. Same again in the pack as well. That's a formidable looking front row of Morley, Monahan and Carvel. And Simon Griggs retains his place. He celebrated his 26th birthday on Wednesday. And he keeps the fit again Ben Westwood on the bench. Ben Harrison's the unlucky man to miss out. You know, Harrison would walk into any Super League starting lineup, such as the strength in depth at Warrington these days. For Leeds, a return for Carl Ablett, having missed the last 2. The second row term centre makes a welcome return to partner Zach Hardacre, who got that hat-trick in the win at Huddersfield last week. And Ablett's return means that Brett Delaney can revert to the second row. The second season at Headingley has seen him get to Wembley twice. Will it be Old Trafford next? On the bench, well, Ali Lauatiti misses out. Wella Haraki drops out of the starting lineup. Will Leeds miss Big Ali's unpredictability? Well, we shall see. It's a perfect night for this match to take one of these 2 great clubs to Old Trafford. The Leeds Rhinos hoping to emulate the Catalan Dragons, Hull and Salford, the 3 teams to beat Warrington on their own ground this year. And the Warrington coach, Tony Smith's in his quest to lead out a second team at Old Trafford next Saturday and create history. And he has had to confront 2 former clubs. Huddersfield 2 weeks ago, Leeds now. The 2 clubs that Warrington defeated to lift the Challenge Cup in 2009 and 2010, coincidentally. And yes, the Warrington Wolves are in 3D tonight. The boys are back in town, and I hope you'll be joining Bill Arthur and company for that in 3D. Stunning 3D tonight to see Warrington and Leeds, and same again next week, of course, when we have the Grand Final for you live from Old Trafford. Well, such is the determination in these parts. The place is a sellout, and these Warrington fans believe they're on their way to Old Trafford. But the Leeds Rhinos stand in their way, and their skipper, Kevin Sinfield, he knows what's coming at him in the next couple of minutes, because Warrington will kick off. They'll attack from left to right, and once the ball is airbound off the boot of Chris Bridge, after Steve Ganson blows his whistle, just watch the race as Warrington try and get in the first tackle deep in Leeds territory. So here we go, a full season's work. It all began for them in November in the training. Off we go, 80 minutes from Wembley. And it was a low kickoff, but here come the Warrington chasers, and Peacock gets away from the first would-be tacklers. That's not a bad start for Leeds compared to some that have suffered on this ground.
That is for sure. Normally they come up with an error, but Leeds realise they've got to try to get into a good position, because the kicking game tonight is going to be ever so important for the Rhinos. They know that. Warrington, you saw it in the dressing room, the word ruthless. That's what they've been in defence, and they've been none too shady, have they, in their attacking. They've been absolutely superb, averaging 7 tries per game, and that says everything.
It's a great kick.
To bounce.
It's a wonderful kick. It comes off the legs of Jamie Jones-Buchanan, and there was some indecision at the back for Warrington there.
Was it nerves? It's so much expected for the home side to gather a win tonight. And it looked as though there was no communication between the 2. And was just a slip at the wrong moment. That could have been an easy try for the Rhinos.
You know, the tactics and the rules of this game can change over the last 100 years. But a high kick in the air on a pressured night at the start of a game is always a difficult thing to deal with.
Monahan's away! Oh, it's a great try saver for
time all over it. Chris Bridge on the inside. We knew he was going to be an attacking star. And the hooker just held on slightly. And Brent Webb unbelievably stopped it, but there's more pressure.
There is more pressure because the Leeds man was offside. Danny Maguire, I think, who obviously wouldn't let that ball bounce around all over the place and allow Warrington to get hold of it from the knock-on. But here comes the pressure from Monahan. Puts it up to Adrian Morley. Of course, Adrian Morley played at Leeds. Oh, and there's a mistake from Lee Breers. Well, this is shaky compared to previous weeks from Warrington.
It's all about the pressure. A shocking pass. Lee Breers tried to get it. This is the moment where Webb got it down and knocked it through. Well, that was going against them, and they are very, very fortunate indeed, Leeds, to be let off. That's how they wanted it. They applied the pressure, but two big errors from the Warrington Wolves. It's got to get to them, Eddie. It really has, because it's so expected for them to win.
Well, that was high as well on Sinfield from Grix, but the referee allowing that to go on. Oh, and a little heartbreak from Maguire, hauled down by Carvel. Badiris gets it away to Peacock. He makes meters forward. Oh, it's been pinched at the 2-on-1 penalty. Gareth Carvel nicked it.
Well, it looked like a magician, didn't he? Put his hand in the top hat and came out with a rabbit. On this occasion, it was a baller. It looks as though Peacock said, here, take it. It's like a gift, thank you.
Okay,
and,
be careful, pal. I'll call you twice.
Well, not the start that Tony Smith, the Warrington coach, would have wanted. He's always looking to apply the pressure to the visitors. He's turning around.
Not the start that Tony Smith would have wanted, but it's exactly the start that the neutrals wanted. Watching at home, Warrington have blown opposition away in recent weeks. But this is the Leeds Rhinos, and that is Jamie Peacock, who plays the ball to Badiris. Now it's Sinfield. Met with a head-on collision by Gareth Carvel, finished off by Morley. Badiris waits the dummy half again. Carvel lying in the ruck, might have been penalised.
Should have been penalised.
Gets it away to Maguire, dubs it in, looking for the land, and it's Ablett! And Ablett has scored the first try for Leeds! Carl Ablett with the try, just back in the side after 2 matches out. A dink in behind the Warrington defence, and first blood to the Leeds Rhinos. Carl Ablett, only his 5th try of the season, coming back after a head injury. There's the wound, but Ablett was the first to react. It bounced perfectly, and Leeds get first blood.
2 big errors by the Warrington outfit, and then, of course, the penalty given away with Gareth Carvel stealing the ball. 2-on-1 in the tackle. The kick was outstanding. Peacock got him through, and there's Carvel saying, where did that come from? Either way, the Rhinos went down, and Maguire, it's an absolute perler, isn't it? What a wonderful kick. Joel Monahan just slightly out of position, and Maguire could see that. Bounces up perfectly, gets in front of them, and Ablett has stunned the home crowd here.
Well, Kevin Sinfield to try and add the extras. The man with ice water in his veins when it comes to kicking. Can he give it them a 6-0 lead? Yes, he can!
Well, big starts are vital in playoff games, and Leeds have done that this season. Throughout the course of the season, they haven't particularly started by scoring well in the first 10 minutes. In fact, they rank very lowly in that, but they've certainly found their way through the Warrington defence. A brilliant kick. And you know what we've seen so far in the playoff games? The team that scores first and takes the early lead goes on to win. Here we see Warrington are the team who traditionally in the first 10 minutes have blown their opponents away. Just look at what they've scored to what they've conceded, but not tonight.
What you've seen from Leeds so far, and it's what's got them this lead, and this will help as well. Out on the full from Chris Bridge.
Well, the adrenaline is obviously flowing through the Warrington veins at the moment. And this isn't just close, that's almost on the front row of the stands.
Oh, this is going to help Leeds. The point I was going to make, Eddie, is the speed at which Leeds are playing the ball. Danny Maguire, Jamie Jones Buchanan, Jamie Peacock, they're getting their noses through the line. They're leaving some Warrington defenders on the background and playing the ball quick for Danny Badiris. That will give them a chance in this game.
This is Peacock again. The Warrington fans are silenced. It's the Leeds fans who are singing at the moment. As Luluai drives that ball in again and nearly takes 3 players with him over the stand. This now is Sinfield. Short ball gets it away. That's Delaney.
Maguire's shouting out the orders. He wants it. He'll come on the second phase.
It's a drive forward and he's lost the ball. And it's picked up by Griggs.
Oh, golden opportunity there, but what about the hit from Carvel and the hooker? Danny Badiris. Crowd here, the whole crowd screaming for the official Steve Ganson, say that Leeds aren't back, but they are now. Well, what a start. The break from Michael Monahan. It looked as though they were going to set Warrington on the scoring spree, but it's turned around the other way, and it's got to be a good kick and chase on this occasion.
Riley gets to his feet, the crowd baying for a penalty from Steve Ganson. 7 minutes gone here in the first playoff game, just a fortnight ago. Ganson blew 7 penalties at this point. We've only had 3 here tonight. Webb covers the danger for Leeds.
Not a bad little option though into the corner there, and I agree with you, Eddie. Steve Ganson, as you say, only a fortnight ago, he never had the whistle out of his mouth for the first 20 minutes. It certainly disrupted both sides.
And one of the 3 penalties so far tonight from the kickoff that flew over the dead ball line.
Well, there's a clear difference, isn't there, between what Leeds were able to do and what Huddersfield did when they came here 2 weeks ago. They're actually making ground. But it was the run by Kyle Luluai where he actually bumped off defenders and made ground after the collision. That's a difference that we don't often see here when teams play.
And Leeds are trying to keep this ball alive.
They don't want to battle down the middle, they'll tell you. And you can see Tony Smith is concerned. Some of his defenders are coming out of the line.
I think Roy Keane is in there behind Tony Smith as well. He's a massive rugby league fan. Here comes Riley on the break.
Good job by James Buchanan. He's got to give a penalty for that. Well, it's all hyped up. It's a big second rower, Jamie Jones Buchanan. Good job he got to Riley. There was an open field there for the winger to be speeding through. Has to be a penalty, and it was.
Jamie Jones Buchanan. 2 of his 18 playoff appearances came under Tony Smith at the Leeds Rhinos.
This is where Leeds have got to show us what they're made of tonight. Warrington have got the ball back near their try line, made easy yards up the field, and they've made a couple of dents in this Leeds line so far, even though Leeds are 6-0 in front. Let's see if they can keep them out of this set. They'll grow in confidence if they do.
Carvel with the drive in. Carvel is halted, not much ground gain forward there. It's Monahan, gets it to the left, and Myler, he finds Bridge. Bridge back on his inside to Ryan Atkins. The Leeds 3 were waiting for him.
Bit of a problem. Kyle Luluai picked up a knock on the head there. He's a little bit daisy. Didn't get himself involved in that particular tackle.
Michael Monahan clawed down on the last by Jamie Peacock from marker. Morley was the dummy half. Here is Breers. He floats it wide, looking for the big man. Oh, and it's claimed in the air by Ryan Hall brilliantly.
What a take! Unbelievable. Under pressure there. Joe Monahan looked as though they got it.
Knock on here, though, I think, but was it a forward pass? It's head and feet to Warrington anyway. Knock on.
He didn't play correctly. It went back slightly, and because it hit the other boot, it came forward. He's mystified.
Well, I think we all should be, because at least he played it with the foot.
Yeah, at least he touched it. How many times did he not even get anywhere near it? Either way, the Wolves won't be worried about that. They need points very, very quickly.
They might get them here, because this is Atkins. Hardacre was on his back. Delaney across to help out with Sinfield. Now it's Myler. Myler running across. The collisions are fierce in the opening 10. Monahan. Here is Breers. And Breers attacking the line. Gets a beautiful ball away to Bridge, but he's put it down.
It's a knock-on. He'll put the scrum down. No advantage.
Well, he put the scrum down. No advantage. But I tell you what, Ablett was away here.
Well, Jamie Jones Buchanan made the decision. Jamie Jones Buchanan came out of the line, made a decision to put pressure on Lee Breers, and the rest of his defenders, like Danny Maguire, did the right thing and followed him inside.
The Wolves look like a team who've lost the rhythm. They've had the week off. That was the reward, wasn't it, for winning the first week in the playoffs. and the timing of the passing, one or two of the tackles slightly out at the moment. I think the Warrington fans will be hoping that they refine that rhythm very quickly.
Well, I don't think Leeds will want to play too much of the game down here. They've been stuck here for a couple of sets now. They need to get back out and get a good kick in.
And Ryan Hall trying to do that. Brilliant start from Brian McDermott's men. Badiris is leading the way.
To be fair to Brian McDermott, he made it quite clear that they're not the underdogs. He thought that they have the power, they certainly got the skill, and oh, that was not forward. Well, I don't know where he's got that one. I make no wonder that the skipper, Kevin Sinfield, is shaking his head. What on earth is wrong with that? We see that's flat pass 100 times in a game.
And look at his hands as well.
You know, they've been a bit unlucky, haven't they? We've got the Ryan Hall play the ball, which went against them. That's another tough call.
Okay, lads, keep going.
There's nothing wrong with this at all.
That is not forward out of Kevin Sinfield's hand, simple as.
Well, Warrington won't be complaining if they make hay, and here goes Hodgson. Now it's to Matt King. That's great defence from Leeds. Oh,
wonderful.
How did he keep that ball in? Here comes Griggs.
Well, I was just going to praise the defence, and he got the ball, flicked it back in there. Interesting to see the replay on that, whether it was over. Any part of his body touched the whitewash. Either way, more pressure. The big fella, did he get anywhere near? No, he was in the air.
Short ball from Monahan, found Bridge. Good job that Delaney was there. Monahan again. This is Hodgson. Flicks the pass wide, but it's behind Matt King. And Maguire is up to the mark.
Poor pass by Hodgson there, the full back. If it was a quick, straight one, they would have got in the corner.
Griggs. Leeds have just closed him down. He had nowhere to go then. This is the last tackle for Warrington. Monahan gives it to Breers. He dinks it to the in-goal area. And Webb will take it over the dead ball line. Goal line dropout coming up.
He'll be happy with that, Tony Smith. He knows it's been a shaky start for his side. Come up with so many errors, but this will give them time to breathe. Good thinking there by Breers. He's got all the experience in the world. So did Brent Webb. They're taking no chances whatsoever.
And Simon Griggs has got a bang on the eye.
This is a tough time for the Leeds players now. They have been under pressure for the last 5 or 6 minutes of this game. This is very, very tough to keep Warrington out. If they can do it, as I said before, they will grow in confidence. They defended that set well, kept Warrington away from the score sheet. They'll need to do it again.
Tell him he needs to get that shirt changed.
They want Simon Griggs off the field to have his shirt changed. The referee isn't happy with him. So Griggs will leave the field, have his kit changed, and then we'll get going again.
Tell him let the sub on.
Now will Warrington make a change?
Let him on.
Nobody there over on the far side waiting to come on, so Warrington will continue on with 12.
Let's go, Kev.
Well, Kevin Sinfield is a master at doing the short one, but I think he'll opt for right down the field, and that's exactly what he's done. Leeds has got near to the halfway line. Oh, this is a good chase by the Leeds players.
Led by Jamie Jones Buchanan and Peacock.
Hold. Go, well done.
And Bailey, who is out there now. Here is Carvel. This hot night is going to be draining for the players. It really is warm. Must be one of the warmest nights of the Super League summer that we've had.
And again, another tackle there by the prop forward, Jamie Peacock. He's got into double figures already now. He's working overtime.
Monahan bullets the pass to Hodgson. It opened up briefly for Hodgson.
I think there was an element of obstruction with Richard Myler well in front of Hodgson.
Carvel takes it forward.
Blindside switch. Monahan there. Will he control it?
Last tackle here. Last tackle here for Warrington. Breers finds King, dumps it down. All hands to the pump. Try for Warrington and Joel Monahan. Joel Monahan with the try. 26 tries now for the season. He got 2 here against Huddersfield 2 weeks ago. And that was the ability of Warrington to keep that ball alive after it came down from the high kick.
Well, this is what we've expected from Warrington all this season. Slow start, but they've got back into it. And the ability, as Eddie's already mentioned, good offload there. It had to be by Chris Bridge. It looked as though it was all gone here. But the big fella, King, gets through it. Bridge, what an offload. spins around, and Joel Monahan says thank you very much indeed. A controlled defensive effort from Leeds, but the big fella, he reached up high, bridge offload, the rest is 4 points. He's happy now, Tony Smith. He was concerned early.
Well, he was, and rightly so, because Leeds hit them with a bit of a whirlwind. They took the 6-point advantage. But Bridges' pass gave that try to Joel Monahan, and now Bridge here to level the scores. Have they survived, the Warrington Wolves, what's arguably been their worst start to a match for a few months? 6-all.
And it just shows you the importance of applying the pressure. The first set of 6, Lee Breers, give it to me, into the in-goal area, dead in goal. It gave them the opportunity to settle, and another kick in there created all sorts of confusion.
Well, with a match like this, you'd expect the defence to improve. When you're the prize at stake, you'd expect that extra commitment. And we've needed 2 kicks to create the true tries that we've seen so far.
Right, let's go downstairs and join Rod.
Well, the Warrington medical team, Eddie, have done some running repairs and very quick ones too on Simon Griggs. We saw that nasty gash. He's had it patched up. He's got a bandage on there on the far side. He's back on the field. It did look as though they were going to send Ben Westwood on, and he was absolutely itching to get out on the paddock, and who can blame him? He's been out for 6 weeks. But Tony Smith obviously wanted to keep one of those vital interchanges up his sleeve. Griggs is still out there.
Yes, he is, and coming up to the 16th minute on the watch, we have 6-all, and Breers goes for a long booming kick downfield. Webb is underneath it though, and Brent Webb will try and run it back, but great chase by Richie Myler. Here's Ben Jones Bishop now.
Well, he expected a classic, didn't we? And they are not letting us down. This has been superb from both sides. The defence solid, and as already mentioned, the 2 tries coming from the kicks, which is not surprising. Good, quick, short pass. Bailey, who's been in top form of late.
Well, that was an awful play, the ball, compared to the one that Leeds were pulled back for the scrum at the other end.
To be fair, Mr. Ganson is saying, let's have a quick game. He's ignoring a lot of things. No pressure there. Hodgson took it cleanly. Disappointing kick.
Well, we have the grand final, of course, coming up next Saturday, and there's the information line for you: 08 444 777 113. It's the Super League 16 grand final next Saturday. We'll be there at Old Trafford, of course, on HD1 and in 3D as well, as we are here tonight in 3D. There's a 40-20 attempt here by Warrington. Oh, and it's just bounced the wrong way for them.
Good thinking, though, wasn't it, from the hooker? Kicks on the 3rd tackle. But look at the chase. Oh, that's a good effort. Can he get round? No, he slipped. He was looking to set up Ryan Atkins, but as he stepped off, he slipped on this lush turf.
It was a great effort from Ben Jones Bishop to get back and help his fullback. And 1 or 2 of the other Leeds players are going to have to do that here now. Just squeezing the life and juice out of this Leeds side and making sure whenever they start a set, it's quite close to their own try line.
Sky 3D next Saturday for the grand final, and if you've been with us in recent years for the grand final, you know that tracking camera that runs the full length of the field underneath the stand roof at Old Trafford. Well, that will be the 3D camera this year, and it's really well worth a watch. First of all, for 3D full stop, and of course for the grand final, it will be something extra special, absolutely unique.
Well, not the best kick yet again. That's 2 on the trot by the Rhinos. They need to improve in that department. Right down the throat of Chris Riley, though. You must admire the way that this Rhinos defence are going up as a unit, solid. No one's just leaving it. They're going as a full team.
Well, Ben Westwood has arrived on the scene, and here he is, first touch. Quick play the ball as well to Bridge. He finds Myler, gets it away to Atkins. Leeds are there in numbers. Can they clamp the ball? Can they prevent the offload? Yes, they can. There is Ben Westwood. He missed Huddersfield 2 weeks ago. That's the last tackle for Warrington. Riley picks himself up, plays it to Myler. Ball comes in field, and Bridge elects to run it, and that ball went forward, knocked back, flicked all over the place. Play on, says the referee, still the last, so the kick downfield. Was that Morley?
Take a picture. Yeah, Morley.
Well, the crowd exploded.
The ball nearly did as well.
And I'm not so sure that Tony Smith, he would have been exploding for something different. You've got to make sure that somebody's there, but you've got to give a lot of credit the way that Chris Bridge, he looked as though he was going to knock on, and then he got to it a second time and then a third time.
Steve, an important kick coming up for Leeds. You pointed out that the last two have not been good. They have not put enough pressure on the Warrington defence with their last tackle plays. Let's see if they can come up with something better this time. Punch it into the corner and make Warrington carry it off their own line.
Jamie Jones Buchanan driving it up the middle. Coming up to the 20-minute mark, game being played at breakneck speed. Here is Delaney.
The one thing that Tony Smith will be concerned about, Leeds have got over into their half so easily, and that has been something that's been difficult throughout this year.
This is a high kick from Sinfield, swirling everywhere. Hodgson safe underneath it. And Maguire got to him with the tackle. Here goes Griggs again.
Well, they're going down all over the place. This really is at a hot pace. Great work from Danny Maguire.
You know, there aren't many teams who can contain the Wolves the way that Leeds are doing. A very impressive defensive effort in the first 20 minutes.
Westwood entangled with Bailey. There goes Michael Monahan, finds Myler. Great ball! Atkins wide to Riley. Riley, can he skin Ben Jones Bishop? Flicks the pass inside, it bounces everywhere. Who's first to it? And it's Zach Hardaker who is.
Great work by Warrington there. Got the ball out on that left-hand side. You could see that Kevin Sinfield just got caught out. Riley had the pace.
The Hail Mary coming up. Well, it bounced into Warrington Leeds' hands. Great play down the left edge by the Warrington Wolves to break them up. Leeds, though, they've scrambled well in defence. Again, they can grow in confidence from that.
Great run from Bailey. We've had some one-sided contests in the playoffs so far this season. This is the best by a mile so far.
Spot on.
Saints Wigan at Wigan a couple of weeks ago wasn't bad. Sinfield with a little dink over the top again. On the waiting around, and Bridge takes control, then gets it to Joel Monahan. And Saints Wigan again, by the way, part 2 of the playoff story. 5:30 tomorrow, HD1.
I'm amazed at the enthusiasm and the ability to keep this ball alive from both sets.
What an offload that was from Bridge to Matt King. Briers finds Solomona. Talking about offloads, here's the offload king.
Well, he's a type of player, not the fastest in the world because of his size, but give him half an opportunity, throw the dummy or maybe the offload. That's what he's become famous for. Not surprisingly, Tony Smith says we need something different. He can provide it.
Briers attacks the line. Oh, that was a swinger from Delaney, and it's allowed to go by the referee. Here is Monahan who finds Myler. He'll drift it in, or tries to, and Badiris just snaked out the arm and picked it up.
Poor kick. Myler knows it as well. Golden opportunity to turn them around. Remember, we mentioned the fact that Warrington went for 2 kicks, one to get the ball back for the second set of 6. Then they come up with the try.
Peacock to his feet. Surely the heat and the pace of this game has got to start taking its toll sometime. It's been absolutely rip-roaring from start to finish. Great offload again. Oh, and Badiris, he had his hands on his hips then. But
Well,
it comes to Jamie Jones Buchanan.
Well, it looked as though when Sinfield passed that ball that he was in front of him. This is the one here. Ooh, I think that was forward. Got away with it. Nice kick and chase. Bobbling around in the in-goal area. That's just what Leeds needed.
That's a great kick. The chase isn't bad either.
It is a good kick, and it rescued a very, very poor last tackle, Eddie. Second last tackle. They weren't sure what they wanted to do. They didn't look like they were setting up for the kick. This coming after a repeated series of poor kicks, and they've now given the penalty away.
A smile from Ryan Bailey. It's a steal, says the referee. Ooh.
That was lost.
Well, it was, but the trouble was that Bailey's arm came across and made the last contact, and I think that's what's convinced Steve Ganson.
That's not a steal. No.
He's lost control.
I can see what. That's not a steal.
I see why Ganson's given it.
Why?
because here, watch, the ball comes away.
That ball's
and there.
away from now. That's poor ball control. Leeds hard done by on that occasion.
Listen, you're losing 3-1, Eddie.
Well, I'm only trying to justify Steve Ganson for once. We gave him so much stick here a fortnight ago. At least he's keeping this one going.
Oh, send him a Christmas card and be done with it.
Bridge.
I've been impressed, though, with the Rhinos' defence. It really has been superb.
Michael Monahan, Westwood.
You talk about the pace, Eddie, about this game, and yes, you've got to wonder that with Warrington having that fortnight's rest, that they should be favourite to take this out. How long can... What a beautiful pass.
What an offload from Solomone. Here comes Anderson. Hardaker got hold of him. There's a knock-on by Ryan Atkins. The Leeds are scrambling, but what an offload from Solomone, this one.
At one point, it looked as though they had 8 men around him, but Solomone somehow got it away. Oh, superb. Look at all the players in heavy traffic. Monahan, flip out wide. Maybe Tony Smith wants to get a message. I just get the impression that Warrington are wanting to try to score on every time they've got possession. There are times
they have this year, haven't they?
I know, but there are times when you've just got to get yourself back into the game, slow it down.
Difficult, I suppose, to change what you've done for 7 or 8 months in, 25.5 minutes of this semi-final.
Oh, they're coming up against very committed defence as well, Eddie. There's defences forcing them into some errors. Some of these offloads that have come off in the past haven't now because of the commitment that Leeds are showing.
Kirk takes it forward. Come off the bench as Ian Kirk. Made his first appearance at playoff level against Warrington in 2006 when the Warrington Wolves won away. Here's a knock-on. Forced. Ablett, the try scorer earlier.
Yeah, it just bobbled. He knows it too, does Ablett. Got him off to a flyer, didn't he? It was a beautiful kick through that allowed him to squeeze over for the first try of the game.
Only the slightest bobble, but Steve Ganson and his touch judge spotted it. Now Monahan finds Myler to Hodgson. This is Atkins trying to spin away from Sinfield. Doesn't do. Myler again. And Louis Anderson is off to... Well, he'll be used to heat like this next year. He's off to the south of France in the Catalan Dragons. Solomone up the middle.
That was forward. Yeah,
to
delayed
Westwood.
it.
I think actually the problem was then Solomone slipped at the moment he got rid of the ball, and that's what fetched it forward. Watch here.
He does the dummy, Eddie. He tries to leave it too late.
Say slipped, he actually got clattered, didn't he?
Yeah, Ian Kirk got right into him. See the impact there.
Great defence again. I mean, they're causing themselves trouble because they keep turning the ball over in this part of the field, but they've managed to turn around on most occasions and defend it. But what you will say is, if they continue to make these mistakes coming off their own line, Warrington will score again. They've got to give themselves a bit of a chance, get to the end of their set, kick deep into the corner, and make Warrington bring it off their line.
Well, it's the biggest prize in the business that's at stake here tonight and tomorrow at the Saints Wigan match at Widnes. It's a place in the Engage Super League Grand Final for 2011. Remember, they began their work, everybody, well before Christmas last year, and here we are now, back end of September, and it all comes down to this.
Well, you talk about a big prize. Leeds are just bringing on a big man, Eddie. Wella Haraki comes on with, what, just over 10 minutes to half-time. He's the ability, really. We saw his power in the playoffs before setting up and scoring a try. Whether he can have that impact again now as he comes on the field.
And let's not forget that Rob Burrow's out there as well, so he's put out the big guns. That's a good kick.
Well, it just went the wrong side of the post there.
He's not called to the touch,
Eddie.
He's happy.
Well, I thought he went right over the top. Oh, that's a big decision, isn't it?
It seems to have gone the other side of the post, surely.
You know, I think he's got it right. I think the touch judge has got that right.
Well, it's a long way away, isn't he? The touch judge there, you can see he's not even in the...
spot on.
Yeah. He's not even on the screen.
That is a great kick. That's exactly what they needed.
You can see in slow motion that the officials have got it A-OK.
Well done, the touch judge, because he was out of the picture completely. He was about 15 metres away, and he made the correct decision. Warrington have to bring this ball away from their own line now. 29 minutes gone, 6 apiece. Best attack and defence in the business, Warrington. The first team since this Leeds Rhinos outfit in 2005 to top 1,000 points in the weekly round.
And another kick early, and it's gone over the top of Webb, but he's got it. Look at the chase there. That's the second time that Michael Monahan has jumped into the dummy half, kicked on the third tackle. They're trying to just tire this outfit out, but can they prevent them from getting over that advantage line?
Badira's just looking then to check whether the marker Monahan was standing square. He was. This is Burrow scampering from dummy half, almost to halfway, but that's the fourth tackle. Badira's gets it away to Sinfield. Back it goes then to Maguire. That's one for Leeds. Kick needs to be good. Oh, it's not good. Or is it? It was charged down. Is that going to be 6 to go? No, it's still on the last. So here is Haraki for Leeds. He thinks it's 6 to go. He thinks it's 6 to go. Well, Haraki.
He didn't see the official raise the arm, and he should have done. They had a golden opportunity to kick it through. There you see Sinfield.
That was played at. That should have been 6 to go.
Should have been. But did he make contact with it?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
You sure? Was it an air? Either way, they've got away with it.
50-50s are not going Leeds' way. Half an hour gone. Compelling match. Myler, great ball. Atkins skips away from one. Can't get away from Maguire.
Did well to hang on to that. Maguire right into his face.
Myler with the pass to Louis Anderson. Looks to offload. Does offload. Here's Breers. It's opened up for Lee Breers. And Breers is collared. Great chase back by Zach Hardacre. King gets the offload away. Westwood, knock on. That wasn't a forward pass first. Was it a forward pass first?
It'll be the scrum on head and feet to Leeds.
I think he's saying 2 knock-ons.
Yeah, it's Leeds. He's got that right. King back on the inside there, and you can see that Westwood could not hang on to it. As soon as it hits the other player, the Leeds player, Haraki it was, and that means that the scrum will be set down.
And it's Leeds head and feet.
You know, Eddie, I'm going to say it again. I think Tony Smith has... We've congratulated this team for producing Warrington. That is some absolutely fantastic rugby league football this year. But he has got to tell them just calm down a bit. They are just coming up with error after error.
Looks like Tony needs to calm down. Just having a mop with the hanky. It's a bit warm. Burrow, meanwhile, slips. And Sinfield goes for a 40-20.
And again, it's on the third. Tactics, superb. Will it hold up? No, it just goes over.
You know what? It's not so bad in the end for them. It's not so bad. We've been critical of some of their kicks. Brian McDermott, I don't think, will be too disappointed with that. They get a set line now to try and defend Warrington.
King drives it forward on the first, straight at Haraki. Westwood almost stumbled into that pass. In fact, gets the penalty. And inside the 10, offside.
And they want to get on with it. That's good thinking there from Breers. Ablett certainly didn't make any attempt to go back to the 10.
Mike Cooper's on for Warrington.
Now, Eddie, it looks like Brett Hodgson is off. Chris Riley's gone to fullback. Matt King's gone to the left wing. And Chris Bridge to right centre to replace Matt King. So I'm sure we'll get information on whether Hodgson's injured.
Well, he limped away. Remember when that ball was adjudged to have found touch just this right side of the corner post? He did limp away into the corner. Monahan with a run. Looping pass finds Riley. And Riley skips in for the second Warrington try. He left Paul Ben-Jones. He left Carl Ablett for dead. Just skipped through the challenge. And after taking a 6-0 lead, the Rhinos fall behind, and this prodigious young man, Chris Riley, 2 tries against Huddersfield took him to 70 in 111 appearances for Warrington. And he's got the sniff of Old Trafford.
play by the hooker. Michael Monahan created that. And as he went on a weaving run, you can see Carl Ablett come right out, and then he says, oh, I've left a big gap. Take nothing away from the step off the right boot by Chris Riley. It was superb. But Michael Monahan, he certainly manufactured that one. And it was well finished off by that fella Riley.
Could be a fairy tale in 2011 for Chris Riley, couldn't it? Come back from a loan spell, decided to have a bash and force his way back into the first team, and here he is. So close to Old Trafford now.
Warrington have done a lot of things very well this season, and Chris Riley finishing off an important try for them. One thing they have been excellent at is scoring when they've scored. So in the next set of possession, in these next 6 tackles, on 15 occasions they've gone the length and put the ball down over the try line again. And that has to be a key focus here now for Leeds as they'll get ready to restart play here. The defence has to be very, very sharp here. Every player needs to be stood in the right position, and their alertness needs to be at its highest point.
Well, Bridge has converted Chris Riley's try, and Hodgson off. What's the news, Rod?
Well, he's gone into the change room there. You can see him limping off, and it is an ankle problem, as we suspected. He's in the change room, and the medical staff are assessing him. Now, look, we're only 5 minutes away from half-time, so I wouldn't expect anything dramatic to be done just yet. They'll have a look at that. They'll assess it at half-time. That's when the key decision, I think, that Tony Smith will make, along with his coaching staff. But it didn't work so badly, did it? Chris Riley switched to full-back, scored instantaneously.
Absolutely, just skipped away from Ablett's challenge. High hanging kick from Sinfield. Joe Monahan underneath it. Mike Cooper to run it back.
Now, Eddie, we could have a 5-minute spell here that determines this match. I'd like to see Leeds go in without conceding another point. If they can score again, and this will give them a chance, they've got every chance in this game. But they need to keep Warrington out before we get to the half-time.
Well, you don't see this very often, a mistake from Michael Monahan.
That is amazing. That really is something that is extremely rare. He knew what he wanted to do, just couldn't control it, could he?
Legs and hands entangled.
But a golden opportunity now for Leeds. And Maguire, well, early in the game, he was asking quite a few questions. He took on the defence 4 or 5 occasions. He's been quiet after that.
Here's Badiris. Delaney to within 10 on the second tackle. Badiris again. Burrow trying to jink away from them, and Warrington alert to that. Briggs getting in with the tackle. There's Badiris again. Here now Sinfield. Sinfield finds Webb, and Webb fires the pass to Maguire. Little drop of the shoulder, but slipping under the challenge. Almost a fumble then. Big Kylie Luluai takes it on. Luluai was nearly through. Solomona held on to him. Last one here for Leeds. It's with Sinfield. Sinfield then to Webb. Well, slides the kick in. Joel Monahan with a bit of work to do here, and they're going to get a set of 6 extra. The Rhinos.
Great work. Controlled. Didn't get too excited. They knew they were in a good field position. Webb puts the kick through, and the chase is superb. That's all you need.
Of course, the other incentive for Leeds to do so well tonight, Warrington picked them to play in this match. The ultimate insult.
I think the incentive is the grand final. Well, that is great play. Leeds doing to Warrington what Warrington have been doing to Leeds for most of this game, putting them under pressure. Let's see if Leeds now can convert that pressure into points.
I think there's a slight problem for Ryan Bailey. He's limped off. Kirk, meanwhile, carries it forward for the Rhinos. Badiris, that's a good run from Badiris.
Oh, they were very slow first, second marker there, Warrington. They've got to smarten up that area.
Sinfield, here's Webb, long pass wide, Ryan Hall. Oh, the pass inside to Chris Bridge.
Sheer panic by the winger, Ryan Hall. Did ever so well to send back into the field of play.
Surrenders the possession on the third tackle.
Well, he'll be furious, Brian McDermott.
Maybe it was a call from Bridge.
Either way, if you've got your back turned to the opposition, you just hang on to it. You got the option of playing the ball.
Michael Monahan now, collared by Kirk, and Luluai was there.
I'll be surprised if we go early, and he has gone early. Well, that's amazing. I thought they would have eaten up the clock slightly and then put the kick through, but the chase is excellent. Look at that. Forcing him down 22 metres away from his own goal line.
Ryan Hall takes 3 to bring him down. We have 1.5 minutes to the half-time siren. 12-6 to Warrington.
Kevin Sinfield just had a little bit of luck there. That's great stepping. Can he get it out wide? Webb.
And Webb gets through one tackle, flicks the pass wide. Here goes Zach Hardaker, and Hardaker. Oh, he's backed himself, Hardaker. Loses the ball.
Well, fair play to the big fella, Matt King. Hardaker set him up, went round him, then went to go. You can see the finger there from Danny Maguire saying to Hardaker, it should have been the kick. Riley got done, but the big fella King came back, and then he lost control. But did he lose it backwards? That's a big question. Either way, the official said it's a knock-on. But Danny Maguire was furious. You can see Maguire on the inside, and when he loses the possession there, he goes up to Hardaker and says, hey, that should have gone up. It should have been the kick.
Well, he was thinking about it. He put the ball in both hands and thought about the kick, and then backed himself. We'd have been saying it was a try of the century if he'd have got in.
You can't be critical, can you? He tried to stay on the field, he just lost the ball. That was the only mistake, and great skill. And we want to see people, wingers, take people on the outside.
Absolutely.
What makes this sport work so great.
Absolutely. Cooper, he goes down inside the last 5 seconds. Will it be a hoof and hope by Monahan? No. Bridge brilliantly out of the back of his hand to Joel Monahan. The half-time siren sounds. And, well, a tremendous first half. Absolutely sensational first half. Leeds with a great start. They led 6-0, courtesy of Abbott's try and his comeback and Sinfield's goal. And then Warrington, well, they got to grips with things. Joel Monahan's try and Riley's try, 12-6 half-time. Players leaving the field. Tremendous first half. Years to come. Well, at the moment, Warrington have just got their noses in front, haven't they? 12-6. They lead against the Leeds Rhinos, and the Rhinos, to their intense and immense credit, are really taking this game to the Warrington Wolves. Other teams this year have been blown away by this stage of a match. And Tony Smith knows that this one is not over yet. Only one table-topping team has failed to make it to Old Trafford. That was St Helens under Daniel Anderson in 2005. Since the top 8 formula was introduced in 2009, the league leaders have actually gone on and won the Grand Final. That's the pressure that Warrington are under here tonight. Well, no one gave Leeds a prayer, did they? And a penny for the thoughts of the man in the middle of your screen there, James Lowes, who was assistant to Tony Smith here. He's moved across the Pennines, gone back to Leeds. But it all began for him really as a player, I suppose. James Lowes. And now he's training and helping Brian McDermott. And John, can he get them there?
I know it's going to be tough, but I tell you what, they started lively, didn't they? Due in part, I think, to some big game Warrington nerves. An example of that there, Carvel. Fine to roll the ball, but not to steal it. And then Sinfield's run leaves Anderson on the floor. And really, then, from this point onwards, it really, there's the defender on the floor. This defender should be paying attention to Luluwai. He's not. He then has to be focused on Badiris, who becomes increasingly dangerous. This has a knock-on effect and drags all these edge defenders in, and crucially, up out of the line, as you've seen Breers do there. Then on the toe from Maguire, well taken by Ablett to open the scoring. Leeds great in defence as well during the early exchanges. Now, Breers' kick, we've got to say from the outset, is pinpoint. It needs something special from Ryan Hall here. The winger delivers. That is brilliant. Absolutely outstanding from that wingman. But the next kick from Breers was even better. And I think this is why they really persist with the kick, because they've got some outstanding kick receivers on the outside. Time to perfection from King. He catches this ball right at the very top of his leap, inside to Bridge. On to Monahan. Monahan crosses, showed some real strength there as well. Now, Warrington lose Hodgson to injury, and Leeds really shutting down Monahan. Well, almost. Monahan here picking Badiris, and he's a late retreater. And that affects the defensive line, really pulls them up and in again. And at this point now, Haraki's really committed to Breers' line. which leaves Westwood and Riley to both have a go at Ablett. Ablett, Hobbs's choice there, horrible decision to have to make. Riley to benefit and cross for a try. Now, neither team have really hit their straps, and we've got an outstanding first half already in the bag. There's got to be more to come. I just wonder if Leeds are going to start to struggle. We haven't played that extra game and getting to this point. Only time will tell. For now, they're matching them kick for kick, tackle for tackle. Let's just see what can happen in this next 40 minutes. It's going to be brilliant, Ed.
Who's going to be there? Who's going on the first road to Old Trafford? Warrington or Leeds? Steve Ganson's emerged from the dressing rooms. It looks like he's got a communication problem. Tony Smith was certainly communicating, Steve-O, with his charges at half-time.
He certainly didn't look too happy, did he? And I'm not surprised, really, because I think there were moments there when they just kept keeping it alive, when they really needed field position.
12-6, Warrington lead. Not a winning lead, Phil, is it?
It isn't, no, and I guess they're a bit of a more nervous side, although they have a 6-point advantage. You know, they crashed out of the playoffs here last year when they lost to Huddersfield. It was such a disappointing end to the season that I never envisaged that it would happen again here tonight. At the moment, you'd have to say Warrington haven't been at the best. We've seen them play better. Perhaps, Eddie, and we discussed this 2 weeks ago, winning 47-0 in the playoffs, perhaps that was your best performance. Maybe you've not got it again 2 weeks later.
Well, we'll see. The Warrington fans hoping, of course, that they will make it. They've won their last 11 games. Just one defeat since June. Wigan in the Challenge Cup quarter-final here. But the Leeds Rhinos, well, they've lost their last 3 against Warrington. 42-6 at Headingley in May. Warrington's biggest win at Headingley for 25 years, that. 40-24 here in March, and 13 months ago Leeds lost the Challenge Cup final to Warrington by 30 points to 6. So the last 3 have gone against Brian McDermott's men, and to some tune as well. Well, looks like Steve Ganson's wired for sound. Goodness for that. And of course he has to talk to the touch judges. The touch judges have to talk to him, and then he has to talk upstairs to the man in the box, the video referee, to make his decisions. So he needs to be in tune, and he is, and we are, and here we go. 40 minutes that will decide who gets to Old Trafford. Where's your money?
I think I'd have to say Warrington at the moment, because they went through a nervous period, but they came up with the goods when they needed it. Only 2 mistakes by the Leeds defence throughout that first 40, but they paid with 2 tries as well. And I think that Leeds perhaps will be happy with the kickoff, but can they contain the rampage in Warrington? It's not going to be easy for them. They're cock-a-hoop. It's only a 12-6 lead, but it could be sufficient.
If it gets to 60 minutes, Eddie, still with this score, I'd fancy the Leeds side to win.
Oh, and here's a chance for Ryan Hall on an intercept. Has he got the legs on Breers? Yes, he has. And what a start to the second half for Leeds. Ryan Hall with the interception try. Just what they wanted. And Ryan Hall just picked that out of the air. Warrington desperately trying to keep the ball alive. And Hall just waited and waited, and the ball found him. And Ryan Hall, well, that's his first try in the playoffs this year. 5 tries in 8 previous matches at this level, including one in the Grand Final 2008. This one is priceless.
When you test your arm, you say, let's keep it away. And they wanted to just completely eliminate this Leeds outfit. But the big fella, Ryan Hall, put himself in a superb position. We mentioned it several times in that first half, that ability for Warrington to keep it alive. Yes, it can prove positive, but on this occasion, it is a very big negative.
I know that Steve McNamara, the England coach, is watching in the crowd here tonight, as you would expect. Ryan Hall has just notched his 30th try of the campaign. For the 3rd year in a row, he has hit 30 tries in a season in all competitions. And Kevin Sinfield has added the extras. It's 12 all, and it's game on.
For a split second, Ryan Hall was in a very, very lonely place out there in that left wing. Warrington shifting the ball, as they've done all season, and so dangerous. Chris Bridge and Joel Monahan on the outside. Ryan Hall's got to make a decision. He made the correct one on that occasion. Lee Breers didn't have the pace to stop him touching the ball down. Ryan Hall, he got exposed as a winger at times, but he's got to make the right decision there and got 4 points for his side.
12 all if it stays like this at the end of 80 minutes. We're into golden point extra time. Leeds got to Wembley courtesy of that route. Are they going to get to Old Trafford courtesy of that route in 2011? We have never had a playoff match yet go to golden point. Is tonight the night?
Long way to go, Eddie, with so much talent out on display there. You really couldn't say that it'll keep at this scoreline.
And that's a problem for Brett Hodgson and the Warrington Wolves. He's still in his kit, but with all that ice on the ankle and with crutches, you would not think that Brett Hodgson will be coming back tonight. And he might miss the grand final if they get there. It goes high off Sinfield, who was given an eternity to make his choice. Well claimed, Riley. Here comes the response.
Super take from the little winger. Now playing in the full-back position, of course. But I'm with you. You know, the Warrington defence, they laid off Kevin Sinfield. He could have made a cup of tea and still got that kick away.
Well, you're right, Steve. He's had about 15 minutes to pull that ball up in the air. A lot of pressure. It gave time for chasers to come and put pressure on Chris Riley. He was outstanding underneath the high ball on that occasion and made yards after his catch.
The great teams need leaders, and I think that the fact that Hodgson's off the field is one of the reasons why Morley's now back on, Eddie, to make a difference in the middle and lead his side forward.
Griggs' kick all down the sideline, and that finds the right side of the corner post. There's no doubt about that, but it's head and feed to Leeds.
Well, at long last, they're using their brains. Just push it through. Calm it down. They've had the shock. OK, it was an intercept. Ryan Hall races away. Just get that field position.
This Leeds Rhinos season has come alive since about the 16th, 17th minute of the Wembley Challenge Cup final. They lost there, but then they bossed the match. They were unlucky to lose it as well. And since then, they have had all eyes on Old Trafford, and there was a fumble there on the deck. And that's a steal. That should have been a penalty.
Yeah, definitely hands in there.
But Ablett didn't really quite lose it, to be fair. So down to Rod.
Thanks, Eddie. Yeah, well, Tony Smith, as we saw, very animated in the Warrington changing room, and rightly so, because not going according to the script at the moment for the Warrington Wolves as they concede another penalty. He knows what's at stake here. It's the injuries that are causing the problem. We've seen Brett Hodgson here. Well, massive odds against him coming back. Chris Bridge had bang on the head in the first half as well. But remember, Chris Riley did play very well at fullback against Wigan in that big win a few weeks ago. Brian McDermott and the Leeds Rhinos hugely encouraged by that first half, and no doubt by the start to the second, and just wants to say, well, stop turning the ball over in our own half and our own red zone, because they did knock on and throw some forward passes too near to their own line for the Leeds coaches liking in the first half.
This is Haraki being dragged back to the 40-metre line by three defenders. Morley, who gave away the penalty for the flop, one of them.
And it was poor play by the experienced Morley. A skipper should have a lot more brains than that. It's given Leeds a good field position now.
Here's Sinfield again, as little gaps opened up for him. Got the ball away, it went behind everybody. Burrow picks up the pieces. Almost buried by Ben Westwood. Badiris gets it away to Maguire. Dummy, and wide to Ryan Hall, forward.
Big call. It was a good effort, wasn't it? Missing out two men.
A little nod of the head as he agreed with the call. Yes.
Yeah. You can see it drifting. You can see also the position of his hands
and you
as
can
it
see
left
the position of the touch judge.
Yeah.
Well, the officials got the decision right on that occasion, but Leeds can take a bit out of that. Danny Maguire finds the right pass. He has a man overlap on the outside. That's what you're trying to create. Just short of the right pass or a legal pass, but credit to Leeds on that occasion.
Belief's massive in sport, and sometimes supporters are the ones who actually provide that. If you listen in this ground at the moment, there's only one set of supporters singing, believing that their team are going to make the grand final, and it's the ones who've come from Leeds.
Well, we really are in grand final territory, aren't we? We have a day of grand finals for you Sunday. The NRL, first of all, Manly against New Zealand Warriors, 7 o'clock HD2, live from Australia. And then we have the Championship's big day. Championship 1, Workington Keighley, 125 on 3, and that's followed by Featherstone Sheffield, and it's in the same place. Those two live. We'll be back here at Warrington for those.
Warrington losing their shape slightly. You can see there was desperation passing. He's the man, though, Michael Monahan, to keep them cool. Breers with the kick.
Great kick too, and Myler's after this. He's offside. He's offside there.
Would you take the 2? I would.
I'd tap it quickly. There's nobody out here.
Got to wait for the referee's whistle. Now they have. They find Myler. Myler goes wide to Matt King. Big opportunity for Matt King. Try for Matt King. He just had too much strength for Ben Jones Bishop. He was too big. He was too strong. And Matt King, who's on his way home, it's his last home appearance this in Warrington's colours. He's actually going to work with Michael Maguire next year. And he might be facing Michael Maguire in the Grand Final at Old Trafford next Saturday. But King has scored a vital Warrington try now.
Certainly has, and all the hard work in the gymnasium to build up on that upper body strength. They got a wicked bounce, didn't they? You can see there Sinfield. Ben Jones Bishop definitely offside. I pose the question, would they go for the 2? No, Monahan says let's quick tap. What a sensational 2 passes. But what a finish. They had the numbers. They really should have squeezed him over that line. See what he's all about, spins around. That is sheer strength. 3-on-1. He says, I'm going to get the 4.
How on earth did he manage to keep in the field of play and shrug away from those 3 tacklers? But he did.
But
this
what about,
is a big kick.
What about the 2 magnificent long passes? First from Michael Monahan, and then Richard Myler found it out. Absolutely superb.
And Phil Clark spotted the weakness on Warrington's Leeds' side. What a kick from Bridge! What a kick from Bridge! 18-12 Warrington. Phil, do you fancy being a coach?
I don't know, I'd much prefer the safety of sitting in here, but keep my sanity. I'll tell you what I think created this try, though, was the kick from Lee Breers. That was the reason, because it bounced between 3 players. Nobody was quite sure when that high kick went up whose responsibility it was, and nobody in the Leeds side actually got to it first. It gave them the opportunity, brilliant vision from players like Myler and Monahan to get the ball to King.
And I'm glad to know that we keep you sane up here. I don't know whether, well, at least 2 of us keep you sane. Yeah. One of us drives us all mad.
Yeah. I wouldn't take that, Brian.
18-12. What a kick from Bridge.
Well, you can see the difference in this Warrington outfit now. They looked a little bit down and out when they conceded that try, the intercept from Hall. But they're looking cock-a-hoop now. And all of a sudden, Breers has just come back into the game very, very quickly. Been anonymous for quite some time.
Up goes the kick again. This time, Webb is underneath it. Oh, then he gets it away to Ben Jones Bishop. He went through the hole. Good tackle by Atkins, Sinfield. Webb again, showed it to Maguire, gave it to Hardacre.
They got to roll the sleeves up, Eddie. Quick runs, play the ball quickly, and get this Warrington team going backwards.
Delaney wants to get up and play it, which he does. Finds Badiris. Here's Burrow. Burrow fires the pass back to Webb. Oh, that's forward and wide and awful. He knows it too.
Oh, yeah, and he knows how dejected his fellow teammates will be with that.
How do they respond, though? How will they respond to what they've just done? So many of the heads dropped. It might be momentarily, but the match here could go if they don't switch on now.
2 tries in the win at Hull last Friday. Played his against Huddersfield rather last Friday. Played his full part, but that might be deemed to be a life-changing error. We'll see.
Well, I get the impression they'll just trundle it with the forwards and then maybe put the high kick up yet again, apply that pressure.
King goes down, tackle number 2, 31 metres away from the Leeds line. Monahan, Anderson, good run that. Peacock and Delaney standing their ground. Monahan again, Myler, got a stack of players out down that side. Breers is one of them. Just couldn't get the pass away. Badiris on him in a flash.
Breers were looking for the second phase, but there's none forthcoming.
This now is Morley. Morley gets the ball away to Myler. Here is Anderson. King's waiting out wide. Anderson going up the middle. Hardacre hanging on with Sinfield for all they're worth. That's the last 10 metres away. Monahan to Myler. Here comes Breers. It goes out high. Tester here for Ryan Hall. Claimed again by Ryan Hall. Did it in the first half, has done it again.
That is brilliant play again from Ryan Hall. He's jumping against one of the best men in the Super League to take a high ball in Joel Monahan. And again, Ryan Hall rises up higher than them all and comes down with the ball. But be on your guard, Leeds. Warrington are starting to click. Warrington has started to find the form that have got them to the top of the table this season.
I think that was a collision between Maguire and Sinfield, and Maguire's not very healthy.
Certainly took a knock. He's limping out here onto the right-hand side.
Ruthless.
Whoa, Westwood inevitably on Peacock. Badiris with the kick will find touch. It's a good kick. It just will relieve the pressure a bit on Leeds. Give them a minute or two to get a bit of breath into those lungs.
I must say the two hookers tonight have been outstanding. Monahan and Badiris. Kicking game, going early. A lot of times Monahan on the third. Badiris knows he just got to give his side a little bit of a breather. Try to get their defence sorted out, try to force the error.
Well, you picked them out at the start of the match, Monahan and Badiris. You thought that would be the key battle.
And I think it has been. It's as simple as that. They really have been superb.
One. Move. Good, mate. Hold.
King will play the ball to Monahan. Morley will take it forward. Monahan again. Westwood. Good work from Badiris again.
Hold. Go.
Monahan. Grix. And Cooper just got his hands free. Managed to hang on to it.
Go.
Monahan from inside the 40. Gets the kick away, but Ryan Hall's underneath it. And phone number for the Grand Final next week, 08 444 777 113. That's the information line number. I can tell you that the Rugby Football League open for business in the morning and all the way through next week. And of course, one of these teams will have a big job of selling all their tickets next week as well. Biggest night of the year, and they're both desperate to get there.
Eddie, this is ferocious. Some of these runs and some of this tackling is absolutely as good as we've seen this season. 54 minutes into the game, they're not letting up either side.
Maguire seems to be fully recovered from that collision, gets it away to Jamie Jones Buchanan, who in turn gets it away. But I think it's moved on by Breers.
Good work by the standoff there. Oh, it looks like Breers has picked up a bit of a knock as well. He put his body on the line.
Don't think he was too impressed with the attention he was receiving from Kevin Sinfield, actually.
That's a little play that won't get much credit, but what Lee Breers did there, the urgency he showed to get to the ball, they're the little things that can win you a game.
Never been to Old Trafford, Lee
Looked a
Breers.
high shot there.
Warrington have never been to Old Trafford. They're so close. John Clark's on. Last tackle here for Warrington.
Surely plenty of height.
With Breers. No, he's drifted it through. He's turned Brent Webb around. It was a kindly bounce for Webb, to be fair. Myler does well.
Boy, that lifts it side. When you can see your little scrum half.
Clark's added a bit.
Come up with a tackle like that and it's sensational. And Bridge, come to daddy, crunch time. Burrow would have felt that. Ooh, that was a swinging arm.
Does this look to you, Brian, like the set that brought the Camels back here for Leeds? They just seem to have run out of energy on this last 30 seconds.
Well, I'll tell you now, once they get this kick away, a good kick at the end of a set, Phil, can change everything.
It's with Burrow, and it isn't a bad kick either, but Riley has funneled back.
The chase is still good, Eddie.
Good position, though, by Riley.
A good chase, though, from Leeds, as you can see.
Well, if you can get the ball, run back and get anywhere near the 30-metre line, you know you've got a good position.
Now up to the big men in defence to keep Warrington at bay. King, inside Hardacre. Carrying on here without Hodgson. Monahan, little dummy to Myler, took the fourth tackle.
They're building the pressure now, Warrington.
Carvel. Great run from Carvel. Tremendous run from Carvel.
He's had a magnificent season, got through a lot of hard work.
Last 1-0 here for Warrington. Breers flips it over the top. Well watched by Brent Webb. Now, can he return it with interest? Yes, he can.
Great play from the fullback again. It's great play. You can do that, you help out your teammates, you get them on the front foot.
Sinfield plays the ball. It's Burrow. And Burrow's away! And he's got Maguire with him. Gives it to Maguire. Has Maguire got the legs? Atkins is after him. Atkins misses him. Burrow, he gets the ball away. Though does Maguire to Ryan Hall. It's a second try for Leeds. A fantastic try. An absolutely fantastic Leeds Rhinos try. Burrow, oh, well, I don't know whether Ben Westwood's applauding the try. You wouldn't blame him if he was, because that was rugby league out of the top draw. Burrow with the break, Maguire with the support, the pass found at Ryan Hall, and Hall had the power and the strength to do the rest. They're not finished yet, Leeds Rhinos. They are not finished.
Unbelievable try. And the little fella, super sub, they started to call him down. A lot of people criticising Brian McDermott not starting with this guy. But the old-fashioned combination of Burrow and Maguire, and look how cool he kept himself. Ryan Atkins tracked him down. It looks as though it saved the day on Danny Maguire. The pass was superb. Look how Maguire knows that he's going to be tracked down. And the handoff and the offload is delightful.
Hall, the scorer, the credit, the little fellow Burrow, and the support act, Danny Maguire. Now then, Sinfield. Bridge kicked a belter a few moments ago. Can Sinfield do it again? Yes, he can. 18 across the board.
How often in Super League, Eddie, have we heard the names Burrow and Maguire? Rob Burrow's actually run back behind the ruck. He's got the ball on the left-hand side, gone all the way to the back of the ruck and picked up some lazy defenders, and his old partner in crime, Danny Maguire, backs him up on the outside. He would have had the speed to finish this in times gone by, but watch the skill to get the ball out to the man who needed to have it in his hands, Ryan Hall. That is brilliant rugby league.
Outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. And Leeds have got a spring in their step. But look at that from Warrington in defence. Oh, he gets the ball away to Medeiros. How did he get that away?
Well, Leeds fans behind the sticks thought that was a little bit high. Oh, this has been cruel, some of the defence.
Well, we've got this tonight. We've got Saints Wigan tomorrow, and whoever gets to Old Trafford, they might have to turn up in an ambulance because it's unbelievable.
I said on Wednesday, Eddie, on Boots and all, that if the scores will level after 60 minutes, I think Leeds will win the match. We'll get to see whether I'm right or not here now in 20 minutes' time, but because I think their experience in these big game situations will be the difference. Still, you've got to play what's in front of you, and Brent Webb doing it.
Webb's away! Burrow's with him! And Burrow's going in for the Rhinos! Burrow's for Leeds! They've come here to the league leaders! They've come here to the red-hot favourites! And they have taken the lead with 20 minutes to go.
We said
Burrow!
We said, Eddie, they wouldn't go away, the Rhinos. And when King went in for that try at 18-12, you just started to think to yourself, is the fact that they had to play last week, would it burn out that energy? No, that is the question that has been answered, because Rob Burrow got it through. Hall's try, and then the little fella gets a pass. And Webb, what about the step? Absolutely sensational positional play by Burrows. It does not come better than this. And the guy that spent most of the season, or latter part of the season, with his backside on the bench, has revitalised this Rhinos outfit. And Brent Webb, cool as a cucumber, and Burrow, sensational.
And Sinfield from bang in front doesn't miss those. Leeds have a 6-point advantage. Rob Burrow's last playoff try, 2007, in a 36-6 home win against Wigan. Watch this and enjoy it all again. Not if you're a Warrington fan, of course.
Positional play, just outstanding. Like any hooker, any halfback should do. Involved. Breers, this is not over yet. We have got to do it. Get back into it. And I tell you what, you wouldn't bet against them doing exactly that.
Well, we've got 18 minutes left, Steve-O. But up to this point, this Leeds side are doing the coaches proud, they're doing themselves proud, and they're doing their fans proud. I wrote them off before the game. I thought they had no chance of winning this. I realise the quality players they have, but this display is as good as I've seen from Leeds in recent years.
There's a worried man suddenly, Tony Smith, because Leeds are running it at the moment. 2 tries in 3 minutes, and they've hit the front. And Maguire just pumps it over the top, and they'll restart from their own 20-metre line. Warrington and Leeds will say, come and get us if you can.
Yeah, he won't be too concerned with Brian McDermott, because he knows that the defence, for most part in this night, has been so solid. They've worked as a unit. It has been a classic game.
And when you think about it, you know, in 2011, Brian McDermott has taken such a lot of aggravation. He got them to Wembley, and here they are now, just 16.5 minutes away from an Old Trafford Grand Final.
Well, if they were going to get to the Grand Final, they needed some players not to just have season-best performances, but almost career-best. And I don't know whether Danny Buderis has ever played as well, certainly for Leeds, maybe even his Australian career. 10 years ago, he featured in an Australian Grand Final, and if he continues the way he is, he's got a chance of doing it over here.
Oh, Westwood with a golden opportunity has knocked on. They had the overlap as well. He was looking to offload, just couldn't keep control of it.
Whoa. Bailey for the Rhinos. There's Ben Westwood. Off the bench. He's missed the Huddersfield game a fortnight ago. It's a wee while since he played. But you mentioned Danny Buderis and his Grand Final, Phil, 10 years ago. That was with the Newcastle Knights against Parramatta. He won on that occasion. Oh, how did Clarkson...
No, as a forward, and well spotted by the judge on the short side.
He has actually called this as a knock-on.
But it's definitely forward, Eddie.
There's the knock-on.
Yeah. Yep. He's got it right. You know, they've got to cut these errors out. You would say Gully Clarkson needed to hold on to that ball. He should have done. Kevin Sinfield gave him every chance. But they got to cut these errors out. While we're getting carried away and we're praising the Leeds performance, let's remember who they're up against. They're up against the league leaders. They're up against a team who scored over 1,000 points this season and who I think have got more points in this game. Leeds, cut out the errors and continue to defend like you have for 64 minutes.
I'm with you, Brian, and also the man we've been praising, Danny Buderis. They've had a great game, hasn't he? But Michael Monahan still holds the key for me. He knows he can put them around this park. He hasn't done much running from dummy half himself. He's been offloading, but if he gets the chance anywhere near the line, he'll go for it.
Myler finds Atkins, and Atkins has the strength to stand, but he gets tackled to the floor by Jamie Jones Buchanan. Here's Monahan again. He'll go up the middle with Monahan. He's not tackled, and he gets the ball away to Myler. And Myler stabs it in. Was that the right decision? Well, they're going to get another set of 6, and maybe it was.
Got away with it. He knows the
Pressure is building.
Yeah, time's ticking away. But Leeds cannot afford just to rest on this lead. They also realise what quality the Warrington Wolves have in their side. Good positioning though, wasn't he? Got back in time. And Ben Jones-Bishop knows it's going to be a tough few minutes away to the Hota.
No one's ever made it to Old Trafford from 5th. That's where Leeds are trying to come, but of course it's happened in Australia, hasn't it, this year? The New Zealand Warriors, they were 6th after the weekly rounds. They play Manly on Sunday in the NRL Grand Final. You can see it live on Sky Sports. You'll see the big one, the Engage Super League Grand Final, live on Sky Sports next Saturday. And are Leeds suddenly the favourites to get there?
Oh, it's dropped it.
He's lost the ball, as Morley.
Do you not think that was a high tackle?
Looked it.
He's knocked on.
Down.
I cannot believe it.
Yeah, but it was the first knock on, there was no advantage.
Yeah, but I can't believe it. He wanted to get on with it. Well, Bailey.
Oh, he's given head and feet to Warrington here. He
Bailey.
has to, because he's played the ball.
Smith, eh?
It's the right call. Once you go to play the ball, she's all back on again. Steve Ganson's got that one right on that occasion.
Come on.
He just asked for an assistance then. Maybe he heard Steve-O saying he'd play the first one.
I doubt it. He's got enough on his plate out there as the official.
No, he doesn't need to listen to us, does he?
Good pressure again for Leeds. They need to defend this again. They need to show enthusiasm in defence.
Well, since the opening to this match, there has been the sniff of an upset. But that's another offload, and that's touched. That's going to be 6 to go.
It should be. No, he says. Well, it appeared to be a touch by a Leeds player.
Definitely.
Either way, Carvel carting it through.
Solomon is lurking dangerously on that far side of the field. They've come this side though.
They have with Monahan. He stabs the kick in. It was a nothing kick as Hardaker picks it up.
Well, it was a quick play the ball. And to be fair, Leeds were very slow to get themselves marked up.
Oh, Adrian Morley.
He nearly
Put him into tomorrow.
There's no knock on here. There's no knock on here.
Well, Morley's got the big hit.
He said he's not tackled.
It should be a penalty.
He said he's not tackled.
It's a penalty.
It's a penalty. It's not a scrum down. But, well, the ball carrying arm doesn't hit the deck. Morley says should have touched it. Luckily he didn't. Boy, controversy late in this match.
Here's Riley. Riley gets away from one, but 2 reinforcements come in. Jamie Jones Buchanan, Danny Badiris, Michael Monahan. Here's Carvel. Gets the offload into Breers. Anderson back to Breers. And Breers directing the traffic.
Super defence there. Collective, kept in a line to the Rhinos, didn't panic.
Monahan with a run. Monahan couldn't get the pass away. Badiris saw to that. We'll play it here to John Clark. He finds Myler. Myler to King. And King was very big and very strong earlier. They held him out this time. Clark. Monahan. Here's Breers. Here's Breers. This is Riley. And Riley's second try for Warrington. Chris Riley. Well, I've talked about the fairy tale tonight. He's come back from a lone spell with Harlequins. He's battled his way back into this team, and he has just thrown Warrington the big chance of getting to Old Trafford next Saturday.
And the most important factor, he scores near to the post. That should make it very easy for Chris Bridge. This was the incident. The man was not tackled. It should have been a penalty either way. The Wolves got the position and the possession they needed. The wonderful stepping ability from the old stager Lee Breers. Steps him, gets the defence going out onto the left-hand side, back on the inside, and Riley does it again.
And Bridge to level the scores. Listen to the crowd. 24 apiece. Wow. Now, who has the momentum?
Who's got the ability to go for the 1 point? We know that Kevin Sinfield or Danny Maguire, but the master of them all at the one-pointer has to be Lee Briers. Chris Riley, his heart will be thumping. He knows he's pulled him back all square.
Well, it's like you're all square on the 18th tee of the Ryder Cup, and it's all to be won in the next 10 minutes.
Well, it's a battle of nerves now, Eddie. Leeds will know exactly what's going wrong. They keep coughing up the ball coming off their own line. Mistake on that occasion by Welle Haraki, and Warrington good enough to punish him. Leeds surely have learned the lesson by now. If we make mistakes coming off our line, we'll concede points.
Great chase from the kickoff. No way forward for Carvel. Monahan to Solomona. Good run from Solomona. Down he goes, that's the second. Centre of the half of the field. Here comes Morley.
Great work from the forwards, setting everything up there. Interesting to see who wants to take this ball now. Will Briers go for the kick? Try to turn the Rhinos around. Try to force the header then.
Monahan going on his own. They're asking for a penalty for not standing square, the crowd. And he gets that ball away. And is it 6 to go? It is. Here's Carvel.
Jamie Jones Buchanan got a fingertip to that. Briers is screaming, calm it.
Here's Briers.
He goes to ground. He knows how important it is. Will they go for it? They're going out wide. Will he get a rush towards the sticks?
It's Clark who will play the ball here to Monahan. They'll come into the centre of the field with Morley. Now then, will they take the chance and go early? Monahan. No, they'll come this way to Myler. Here is Atkins. Sinfield gets him. King! Now then, is he in? Is he in? And if he is, has it come at a cost? Because King looks like he is injured. And Maguire's saying it might be a double movement. And King gets to his feet and says, nothing wrong with me. I might have scored the try that's dead just ahead again.
Well, it definitely bounces, but has it got momentum? Oh, I think that could be classed as a double movement.
He's short anyway.
He hasn't got it there anyway.
Well, he's looking at it. I mean,
it's short to the whitewash. This is no try.
but we got a different angle now.
Ian Smith's first decision of the night, and what a time to get it. He's short.
It's no try.
Well, I wonder what Matt King is looking at then. I think Matt King thinks this is on the line.
But he can't propel it forward because it would have been a penalty.
I understand that. I think he's convinced that when the ball, when he comes to a stop here at the end, the ball is making contact with the line.
It's a great low tackle by Brent Webb. And Ben Jones-Bishop has got the momentum to stop him from going over and scoring the try.
Well, it seems as though all of the 50-50 decisions have gone in favour of Wolves today. You know, we're talking about tactics, you need some luck in sport.
It's not there, it's short.
I think it is on the line. The referee says by the time he got there, it was on the line.
Well, he didn't.
There's consultation taking place, and I think if there'd been a referee asked him, they're going to award this try.
Well, there's no stumble movement, so if Steve Ganson says it was on the line when he's reached there, and that point, that the ball hasn't moved any further, it's on the line.
It's a big one for Ian Smith.
It's a massive decision for Ian Smith. What's he say? We're a week away, that's all. 8 days. Is this the moment? No! He was short.
Now then, well, is that a...
Well, if Ganson said it was on the line when he got there,
if it's a double movement, that should have been a penalty. If not, oh boy, confusion reigns here. And they'll go back, he'll play the ball.
I think maybe, Phil, Steve Ganson might have said it was shy of the line when he got there.
Well, that's a bit different, though.
I know.
It's the accent then, maybe
Phil, you've dubbed him in a bit there. And the video ref confirms that the word used was shy.
He's got to go for the 1 point. Where's Briers? He's in a good position.
And here is Lee Briers.
Oh, he's gone for it out wide, and it's a shocker.
It's found its way to Bridge. Here's Riley. Back it comes to Monahan. He keeps it going to Bridge. Bridge with the chip over the top. He's chasing this himself, Bridge. He flicks it back inside. He was in touch anyway. Oh, I don't know whether we can cope with this, can we? We're going to get golden points here, the way we're going.
I'm still shaking. That was unbelievable. I just cannot believe that Lee Breers opted to... He had his foot on the line. Yeah, he's got it right. It'll be the turnover. It was on the last.
Now Leeds, no mistakes. Bring the ball off your own line. Punch it deep into the corner.
I can't believe, Brian, that Breers did not go for the 1 point.
Well, I think there was a bit of pressure put on him as well, Steve-O. This Leeds... You're right, he decided to run at the end, but this Leeds defence, they were rushing up. Maybe Warrington are confident that they've got a try left in them tonight.
Well, I know one thing, the Rhinos, if they get anywhere near 30 metres out, they'll go for it.
Burrow. Back he comes to Webb. They're running it down that left-hand side again. Here's Hardaker, Breers. Is it Hardaker or Clarkson? It's Clarkson. Bailey. That's the last, they're on halfway. Oh, penalty! Penalty to Leeds.
Have a kick at goal, Eddie.
No way.
Get it into the corner.
No.
Get it into the corner. Well, it's a right smile by Tony Smith.
Well, who said kick at goal?
I did.
I think you're right.
Well, he won a
6
shooter
minutes
with a
to
go.
go.
Well, with
They're
the
gonna
kicking
have a
tee
go.
now,
With a bloke like Sinfield.
Most kickers can kick the ball 50 metres with a kicking tee, the height advantage he gives you.
And with a guy like Sinfield, anything's possible.
I know he's a tremendously accurate kicker. He's going to have to shoot this out of a cannon.
Yeah, and not only that, he's got to make sure that it goes, even if he misses, it goes over the dead-end goal line, so that they can get the dropout.
Never a doubt in his mind.
No, you're right, and that's the one we've got to go off. Kevin Sinfield's confident.
And the thing is, if he does land it, it negates a possible 1 pointer up the other end.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a big if. He's certainly a brilliant kicker. We know how good he is. We know how accurate he is.
Castleford will testify to that.
Well, that's true.
It wasn't from this distance, Mark.
He's going to have to belt the leather off this one, Eddie.
Now then, well, he's capable. Kevin Sinfield, if anyone can, this guy can. He is the greatest kicker in Leeds history. And he's not kicked it. Oh, he's going to get the ball back, though.
How unfortunate. It didn't have the length. It was wide. But they have got the rub of the green. It didn't work for them in the first half.
Was it wide or was it under?
It wasn't wide. I think it's dropped under. It looked to be in the middle of the post.
Just under, it's hit the post, and then Riley has fumbled it over the dead ball line, so Leeds will get this chance.
Trundle down the middle. But Dearest, he's been around long enough to know exactly what it's all about now.
Great run from Jamie Jones Buchanan.
Where's the next forward? You can see Sinfield saying,
Kickoff,
push it down.
Here he comes.
Another one to the left.
Danny Maguire's there, Burrow's there, Sinfield's there. Here's Sinfield, they're not going early. Picked up off the deck by Burrow. Wide by Clarkson, wide to Hall! As he won it with a hat-trick, Ryan Hall, Ian Smith, it's all yours. Ganson's not giving it. He's asking for a possible knock-on from Rob Burrow.
Rob Burrow caught it on the half volley. I remember watching it. I'm going to call it early. Rob Burrow has caught this on the half volley.
I'm with you, Brian. He did not lose it.
I'm going to call it without the benefit of a replay. Kevin Sinfield offloading.
Now then.
Brian. Oops.
Let's see in slow motion. Has he got control there? This is a big call. Over to you, Ian Smith. This could decide who goes to the big one. Is it a fumble or does it take it on the half volley?
I think it's clean looking at that.
Frame by frame.
I think it's a knock-on, Eddie.
Do you?
I think
Frame by frame.
Well, Brian Carney's put his neck on the line.
You know what? I'll stick with it as well.
I think that's clean.
I shot my mouth off. I'll stick with it.
I think he's picked it up clean.
I think it's hit the deck first and then got to, but was there a brush of the fingertips? Oh!
Well, this.
I'm shaking like a leaf. Imagine what the video referee, Ian Smith, must be going through now. Well, we soon find out if they go to see whether Mr. Hall has grounded the ball into the corner.
It'll be Rob Burrow's left hand, is it, Steve-O? To say that makes contact.
Yeah.
If that makes contact first with the ball then hits the ground.
They're not going to look at the court. They're not going to look at the grounding. This is as big as 1999 and Michael Withers in the Grand Final. Remember that day? Bradford always will. It's no try. Brian McDermott is completely unmoved. What a decision for a video referee 4 minutes of the semi-final to go.
Well, I hope he's got a Centurion tank to go home in tonight, because if it goes, wrap him up, put him a mask on and a wig. Well, what a game, what a game.
Fantastic game, and all the Warrington fans were relieved massively there, each and every one of them, man, woman and child.
Now then, can the Wolves get to a good position? Can they get anywhere near so they can go for the pot of the one-pointer?
3 tackles gone.
Oh, he's lost it. It should be a knock-on. He'll say play on. Leeds have got it. Or have they? No, Warrington. Well, I think he may have lost that ball. Either way.
Well, he's called knocked down by Leeds, so has he wiped the tackle count?
No, he didn't, Eddie. No.
That's never knocked down.
I think he's just lost control of it with the impact.
It's an attempted drop goal there, we can see from Leeds.
It was.
Was it?
And I think that's one that smacks a bit of desperation, really. It wasn't really set up for it, it was a long way from it.
This is some of the best sporting entertainment I've seen on television in a long, long time.
Absolutely. Well, they come up with it, don't they, week after week. The playoffs have been a little quiet thus far, but there's nothing quiet about this. And Peacock trundles it forward on tackle number 2.
They won't panic.
Here goes Badiris.
This guy won't either. He knows what it's all about, position. Injury to Rob Burrow in back play. He's receiving treatment.
Now
but it's all about getting one into it.
Sinfield is lurking. Sinfield's 40 metres out. It's a really long way out of the charge down. It's picked up by Griggs. Oh, he's given a penalty. Ganson's given a penalty.
Hang on, Ganson.
Steve Ganson has given a penalty. Offside against the defenders.
Oh, what a brave man.
Richie Myler.
He's saying Richie Myler was offside.
Well, they're stunned to the Warrington players.
Offside by the touch, should you?
And he was. He's gone early.
That's the way it is. Okay.
He has gone early and it has been spotted. And I think he's been given the advice by this near touch judge.
He has.
And that is the reason. Do you know Warrington was still carrying on in the play? They didn't realise that Ganson had the arm raised. Yep, he gets out of the blocks far too early. Picked up by the touch judge here.
Would you go for 2, Steve-O?
Of course I'd go for 2.
Well, Kevin Sinfield's the man for the job, because in the semi-final of the Challenge Cup, it was almost exactly this range, exactly this angle. He kicked it, and Leeds went to Wembley. And I think that if he kicks this, Leeds are going to Old Trafford. The Warrington fans are furious. Lee Breers is heartbroken, and Brian McDermott, well, he's a brave man, he's watching. Sinfield, the greatest kicker in Leeds history. The hero of Headingley.
The crowd have gone absolutely balmy behind the post that Leeds are defending. It is total silence around the other 3 parts of the ground.
Now they got to switch on, Steve-O. There'll be a trick shot coming up here for Warrington to get this ball back.
They've got to go short, and they're doing that.
It's flicked back. Oh, and Atkins delayed, and Sinfield again to the rescue.
What a time for the captain to get the possession. This, it'll be old-fashioned up the jumper time. Don't risk giving a forward pass. Don't risk anything.
Well, Warrington will get another chance, but it'll be a brief one. Jamie Jones Buchanan. Badiris is waving his men forward down this right-hand side.
He's got that experience. He's been absolutely outstanding tonight, as Badiris.
Here's Maguire, pops it up to Haraki. Haraki escapes the net. That's the last tackle.
Get it into touch, get it into touch.
And Sinfield obliges right by the corner post. And Warrington will race to the scrum. They're 30 seconds away from the Grand Final Leeds.
Now, they always put up the full-back in a straight line, but not on this occasion. Brian McDermott's got to get the message out to Brent Webb. You go back, fella. being told now.
I think I'd throw the ball to Ryan Atkins. More often than not, Eddie, he's made more breaks for Warrington this season. He's the big, powerful player they've got on this side of the field.
I can't believe they put the full-back Brent Webb in the scrum.
Is the penalty going to win it? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Monahan cannot believe it. Breers cannot believe it. Leeds are celebrating. It's their scrum with 15 seconds remaining. And Warrington, they might have won the League Leaders' Shield. They are not going to Old Trafford. It's all over. It's all over, and Leeds are through. And they have created history. The first team from outside the top three. And there's a nutcase on the field, I'm afraid, having a go at Steve Ganson. And he will be marched away by the stewards. And rightly so. It's a shame, Phil, that the game was won by a penalty, but that's the way it is.
Sport will always have its moments of controversy. There were probably 10 or 15 other ones, weren't there, in the previous 70 minutes before we got to that point. It was a decision by the official, and we have to abide by the rules. I think it was probably the correct one. And ultimately, I think Leeds deserve to win. Their defensive effort throughout this game to keep the best attacking team for 2011, you know, to less than 30 points.
Here's the penalty. Was he too quick out of the blocks?
Well, Richie Myler's got to him, hasn't it?
Was that Myler who charged it down?
Myler is a quick player, and the touch just thinks he was offside.
And from that decision, Sinfield does not make any mistakes. That's the Leeds reaction to the Sinfield penalty, and there's the Warrington reaction to the fact that they are not going to Old Trafford, and they have fallen short at the very last minute. Danny Badiris is the man of the match for the Leeds Rhinos. Warrington are almost inconsolable, but Badiris and the Rhinos are off to Old Trafford. Here he is with Rod.
Danny, man of the match, and man of the match going to the grand final as well. 10 years on from the Newcastle Knights. How does it feel?
Well, that's sport. How good is it? This game, the greatest game of all. Come here to this place. It's such a formidable place to come. And the season that we've had, we've got momentum, and you know, that's the best thing about sport. You can have an upset, and just so proud to be about this great blokes.
It was an incredible match from start to finish. Just tell us what it was like to play, because there's times you looked like you'd won it, lost it, won it again.
Yeah, it was helter-skelter. There wasn't much breaks in it. You know, the referee got put under pressure a lot of times, and so did the players. The players are under pressure, and that's what semi-finals all about. So, you know, we'll go on to next week, and you know, like I said, this is a special club, and it's got every bit of deserving to play in this grand final, and that's proud to be a part of it.
It's ended in controversy and a contentious decision. Did you have any view on that?
Which one?
The penalty you kicked at the end?
Oh, well, you know, Rob Burrow, that could have been a try. There were so many, and that's the part of the game. It all evens out in the wash, and you know, hopefully we'll be the team on the day.
Well, it looked like you were out of it completely, but you've made it through, and there's £100 to the charity of your choice. So where will that go for us, Stanley?
Yeah, sorry about mumbling. I got just so excited. The benevolent fund, I guess. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Danny. Well played.
Thanks, guys.
Trafford, so too are the Leeds Rhinos. The most incredible match we have seen here. And Brian McDermott and Tony Smith, great friends off the field, and they shake hands and embrace. And you have to give it to Brian McDermott, because he's had to face up to some adversity this year. I remember when we were at Headingley and we put him his face on the big screen, the fans were actually booing him.
They wanted him out. It was as simple as that. There was rumours going around that the players didn't get on with him. It was all a load of rubbish, and they have dug deep, and they fully deserve their victory. They really have. It's probably the best defensive effort I've seen from a Leeds outfit for many, many a season. And incredible. A couple of seasons back, you know, they went to Grand Final, won the trophy and everything, but they had to dig deep. They knew how good this Warrington outfit was.
And there's the skipper, and he kicked the goal. The greatest goal kicker in Leeds history has done it again. Rod.
Kevin, well done. Congratulations on another Grand Final. There's been a lot of doubters criticising Leeds this year. You've been told to turn around now and say, where are the doubters now, wouldn't you?
Job's not finished yet, is it? Well, I'm really proud of the guys today, what they did. Danny Burrow, outstanding. But I'd like to pay credit to our head coach. He's copped some flack all year, and he knew what was coming. And look, we're 80 minutes away now, and you know, we've got to go there next week full of confidence, and we're looking forward to it.
I know you practice meticulously, and that penalty you would expect to knock over probably 95 times out of 100, but not under that kind of pressure. Just talk us what that was like, trying to knock over that penalty to reach the grand final.
They're the moments you dream of as a kicker. I think, you know, to win games is, you know, thankfully I have the job. I really enjoy doing it. So, you know, to come here tonight against a great side who play the right way, who throw the ball about and ask questions, and who are great blokes off the field, to come here and get a win over the guys who won league leaders is a big one for us.
Yeah, and the opposition have congratulated you genuinely, and there's been mutual respect out there. It was a phenomenally ferocious game, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was some intensity. You know, I remember thinking about 30 minutes in, this is like a grand final, and I think it had everything. I think, you know, the playoffs, you know, came alive tonight with that game, and I'm sure it will continue tomorrow. Just really delighted to be going back.
Well done, yeah, well done, Kevin. It'll be at the States again or Wigan. So well done, and we'll see you next week at the grand final. Congratulations.
Cheers.
Well, Kevin Sinfield knows it will be either St Helens or Wigan, and if it's Wigan, of course, it gives them a little bit of hope to avenge what happened at Wembley. It's a bitter pill, this, for Tony Smith to swallow, because they've led the way all year. They've ended up on top of the table, and when it mattered tonight, they came up short, and they chose Leeds.
Well, you just interviewed a champion player, and he led a champion team tonight. That was... I run out of superlatives to describe that Leeds performance. What a difficult place to come. What a difficult team to come and play against. I'll put my hand up, I gave them no chance before the game. Again, crediting the players that they had. That is as good a display as I've seen in Super League in a long time. Forget about igniting the playoffs. They've done Super League proud tonight on the television. It was incredible. And they put themselves under pressure. They made mistakes. They didn't play the perfect game. But as Steve-O mentioned, they defended stoutly for that 80 minutes. And they kept... Look at that. Look what it means to those players. That's
well,
what you
delighted.
Danny Medeiros is one of the most experienced players in Super League. He's lost for words at the end of that game. That's how much it means to these players.
And even Ali Lauatiti was the 18th man tonight. He's involved in the celebrations. I mean, it was courageous. It started really well for them. We said, didn't we, as Warrington kicked off, look out, because here comes the first big challenge. The first big challenge tonight did not happen.
I think you're right, Ed, and I think that this Warrington outfit will reflect on that opening 10 minutes. We knew that they were nervous right from the kickoff. You know, they came up with errors, tried to keep the ball away, and you can't afford to do that. Gave them the opportunity. They really had that chance, and then Leeds, after the first 10-15 minutes, thought, hang on, they are nervous, and you could sense it. And I think, I mean, there was only 6 points between them all the way through. Absolutely fantastic, as Brian said, one of the greatest games that I've seen, especially this season. Absolutely outstanding. And to see two wonderful hookers going hammer and tong, they were outstanding. Michael Monahan, Danny Medeiros, just superb.
Matt King's final match, of course, for the Warrington Wolves now, as it turns out. Same for Louis Anderson and John Clark. It's a shame it was won on a penalty. The penalty was 100% correct. Let's take nothing away from the touch judge or the referee for the bravery in giving it, but wouldn't it have been lovely to go to the golden point? Well,
it might have been, but, you know, whether they scored a controversial try or a penalty, I think at the end of the day, after the end of the 80 minutes, Leeds deserve that victory. I'm convinced of that. Warrington did not play well enough tonight. They didn't play anything close to what they're capable of doing. And Leeds, I would give all the credit to Leeds. They deserve all the credit tonight. Look, there wasn't much in it in the end. It was only a penalty. That's testament to what a good side Warrington are. But that Leeds outfit, when you have Rob Burrow coming off the bench, complimenting Danny Maguire and Kevin Sinfield, they're an outstanding out.